Women are addicted to mystery, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how to start being more mysterious so that you get more attraction from women. Because in my past, I've made the mistake of being the pen pal, of telling them everything they want to know, of telling things they don't even ask for, and I just tell them. Guess what happens? They shrivel up into a raisin. I don't want you making those mistakes. And by the way, special announcement, it is my birthday today, June 10th, and I just released the Unreadable Man Protocol. And I'm doing something very special, okay? Because it's my birthday. If you get the protocol and then DM me on Instagram the word birthday, I'm going to give you a free one-on-one consultation. I'm not shitting you. It's going to be a mini one, but it's still a one-on-one consultation, one-on-one Q&A, okay? Get the protocol, send me a screenshot, send me the word birthday on Instagram because it's my birthday. We're doing this promo. Enjoy. Now, mystery, intrigue, predictability. Women will bait you into being very predictable. They will bait you into oversharing, okay? These are things they do because they have conscious and subconscious desires. Now, on a subconscious level, what they really want is to not know everything. What they really want is a man that keeps them in the dark, that ignores them, okay? I'm busy at work. What work do you have? You don't respond, right? But here's the trap I fell into when I was younger. And here's the problem. We believed women. I believed women. When I was younger, I would think that she's texting me all day because she wants to talk all day. And so I would do that and I would reciprocate. And I would keep up with her pacing. She was leading the pacing in the direction of the dynamic in that regard, right? Because she's texting me all day and I'm responding all day and we're going back and forth all day. Now, I was a kid. I was in school, okay, to be fair. But I was also in college. I mean, I wasn't that young. I didn't know the game. And here's what would happen. And I'm sure everyone in this video has gone through it too. They lead the pace, right? Starts off very exciting, very hot, very heavy. That's why you're texting all day. You like to scroll so much and blah, 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 blah. Gone. Just slowly disappears. Maybe it doesn't happen all at once, but slowly over time, she's texting you a little bit less, getting a little bit busier, right? Starts to dwindle off because what happened? This is what happened. You went up very fast, you hit her climax of curiosity. We call it a curiosity ceiling. I talk about it in the guide. Curiosity ceiling, we go down. It's over. Because once you hit the ceiling, you can't keep going up. You can't break through the ceiling of curiosity, of intrigue, of mystery. They have a limit. There's a cap to this, okay? It doesn't last forever. And really good guys that know game, get them here and keep them here. They don't shoot them down. You shoot yourself down. What I was doing is I would send them down from the ceiling when I hit it because I was doing way too much. I solved all unknowns. I solved all curiosity. It went out the door. I was over communicating. I was telling them things they didn't ask for. That's a really bad thing you want to do, okay? If you ghost a girl for like half a day or 2 days or whatever, I don't know how often you guys talk. The last thing you should be doing is communicating what the hell you were doing. Like, that's so unattractive. Explaining yourself, really? That's feminine. It's really feminine. You should not come back from ghosting your girl and be like, sorry, I was doing this and that and this and that. Ugh, that's repulsive. Especially if she doesn't ask. But even if she does ask, but especially if she doesn't ask, ugh, dude, don't explain yourself. Okay, you're the man. You don't do that. You're too busy. I got shit going on. She needs to know she's second fiddle, okay? She cannot be the number one. When you are in that frame, when you're in that behavior of explaining yourself, you're basically pleading. Women can't decipher things very well. They can't see through the lines. So when you're explaining yourself to her, it comes across as feminine. It comes across as you're pleading with her to make sure she's not mad. You're on your hands and knees. That's how it comes across. It doesn't come across as decent, transparent communication, no. Which is a big lie. They will tell you, I want a guy that communicates all the time and I want all this transparency. And then when they receive it, it comes across in their female mind as weak, feminine, on their knees. But they don't know these things. That's why I have to tell you them. Okay? I have to tell you them so you don't make these mistakes. And even if she does ask, like, what the hell were you doing? Like, why didn't you talk to me? Blah, blah, blah. Busy. I just had things to do. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. I like tying my things into stories and examples because they really hit the nail on the head. I was seeing this girl pretty consistently at the time. And I didn't talk to her for a day because I went up to this other city about an hour away. I went over to her the other night, the night after, and she saw that I was in the city not talking to her because of my Instagram. And so she goes, what were you doing in blank city? I don't want to dox myself. She goes, what were you doing in blank city? I was like, business. She's like, business? I'm like, yeah, I had some things to take care of. and I just fucking looked at her like, keep on asking because you're getting nowhere. And she was like, you had business things, and I'm like, yep. Exactly. Boom. You're so good, sweetie. You're a genius. Good job. She carried on. Left with mystery. Attraction maintained. Imagine if I handled it like this. Well, I went up to this city and I left at this time. And then I got this drink from this place. And then, oh God, I was thinking about you the whole time. And then I did this and I... Ew! Disgusting. You keep it mysterious. When in doubt, you're busy with business. When in doubt, even if you were sitting on your ass, you never tell them that. It's the intrigue. You don't have to tell them everything, bro. You don't. They're not going to get bored. They're not going to leave. They're going to be curious. Because here's what happens when you do tell them everything. And that's in that exact example. If I told her everything, no emotional spike. No emotional spike. Knowing everything is really unattractive for a girl because it doesn't generate an emotional feeling. It's very boring. Men are linear, right? And so like we're logical, we're rational. Women's brains don't think like that. They want this emotional chord struck, this mystery, this intrigue, it's addicting to them. They can't help it. It's like the mouse with the cocaine. You heard of those studies where the mouse keeps hitting the cocaine thing in the cage and it's not getting food because it just wants a drug. That's women with emotion. Okay? That's why they start fights to get emotion out of you so they can feel emotion when they get your attention. That's the driving factor behind everything. They're loyal to their emotions. And so we give them that spark of emotion when they don't know everything. Use your mind. Go off. Women want to live in la la land. Okay, they want to live in fantasy land. They want their children. Okay, when you don't tell them everything and you're mysterious, that lets them live in la la land. That lets them think of these other alternative scenarios in their mind and just dream and be in fantasy land. Cool. Go do that, okay? Because I'm not telling you shit. So go be in Fantasyland. When you tell them everything, it eliminates the possibility of Fantasyland being real because now they know the truth. When they don't know the truth, Fantasyland exists. They can go on the rides, they can go in the park, they can get their fucking popcorn, okay? When Fantasyland doesn't exist, they're bored, they're unattracted. And it doesn't exist when you tell them everything. You only leave space for that area of their brain to work when they don't know everything. That's really what it comes down to. They're kids. They got to live in La La Land, okay? Let them live in La La Land. And don't believe their bullshit. When they say they want to know, when they say tell me, don't believe it. Don't fucking believe it at all. They're lying. That's what they think they want. The problem is, women say they want a lot of things they don't really want because they don't know what they want on a fundamental level. And it's our job to lead and just know these things. That's why you're listening to The Real Game. Be mysterious. Don't tell her shit. If you're not even busy, say you're busy. If you are busy, don't talk to her. You want this intrigue. You want it. You want to strike the chord in the mystery area to give her the emotional feeling. They want that chord demolished. They want the emotional chord just fucking beat. You got to beat it for them. Go to my link in the description. Get the Unreadable Man Protocol, which lays out everything plus more. DM me on Instagram the word birthday, showing you got the guide. And I'll give you that one-on-one for my birthday. Happy birthday to me, The Real Game. I'll see you in the next video.